All right, I think looks like we're live. Let me double check.
No, I don't think you're live.
Let me see. I clicked it because I think it says July.
Did you look up video on how to do that, all this stuff?
I did, yeah. It's
Okay, well, rewatch that stuff.
all right. Ito, Legendary Balkan Music. Let me see here. Second, 760.
Oh, this say live. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, you're live.
yeah, we're live. Let me just make sure. I think we're live. All right, we're live. All right, good to go.
All right, finally.
All right, finally we're in.
Give the
Welcome,
people what they want.
welcome everybody. So it's my first time going live with Restream. We had some technical difficulties, but that's okay. So I wanted to get this thing tested out. And my guinea pig, of course, is my little brother. The legendary Balkan. Balkan, welcome.
Thank you. What an honor.
How do you feel being the first guest?
Uh, feels pretty great.
Okay, awesome. That's good. So, all right, guys. So my goal, what I wanted to do is have guests on, and we wanted to kind of talk about the guests. I wanted to highlight some of the recent matches they had. Go over those matches, some of the events they had, their training, upcoming plans, and things like that. And then for this one, we're gonna do all that. And then I found a match that I want to actually kind of review it. I want to have the legendary Balkan look at it. This
Okay.
is a match that just happened recently, a week ago, in Russia that I don't think anybody has seen, which
Ooh.
is shocking. So this is I watched it. I was in shock. I highly doubt anybody's seen it, so it's going to be stick around. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's a pretty crazy match that shows the power of side pressure. So stick around. I want to show the Balkan that, and I want to show you guys that match. So first things first, I want to talk about some of the first the training that actually you did yesterday. So let me share my screen here, and I want to go over some of that training because the training, my opinion, it was impressive. The biggest difference that I'm kind of seeing with your development over the last 6 months is the power of your hand. Everything else is getting strong, but your hand is getting extremely
Yeah.
strong. Doing you were doing some pull-ups. While I pulled that up, have you changed anything in your training over the last 6 months, over the last year, or has it been one of those things where you're just sticking to the script and continue training? It's what's developing it.
Well, I've been working with Sandro Setis for almost a year now. So he makes my life super easy. I just do whatever he says. Um, his training and things that he recommends, it's like 4 or 5 days a week, and a lot of hand stuff. He has side pressure, pronation, back pressure. He basically covers everything, so I don't have to think about it. But before that, I don't think I think I did hand stuff, but I don't think I did as many variations of hand training.
Yeah. So how many times per week are you training hand?
Training hand probably twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay. And do you think that's enough, or maybe is it too much, too little? I mean, the reason why I say that, I know, we usually have like mechanics, or people that rock climb and they rock climb, almost every day. A mechanic work with their hand, much all day, and they recover, and they always come in the sport, with their hands super strong. So do you think twice a week is enough?
Well, I mean, it's different, right? So, like a construction worker and a mechanic are not really doing max effort work at work.
Yeah.
If they were, they would ask for days off all the time, and then they wouldn't have that job. Um, but right here, like if you hit play,
Good.
I'm doing like max effort. I'm holding up almost my body weight, which is almost 250 pounds, and I'm doing that. That's a max effort. So you can only do that, once or twice a week.
Yeah. And this one right here, if I remember correctly, was it 4 or 5 sets of each exercise?
It was 5 sets. So the first one was the pull-ups with the rope. That's 5 sets of six, and this one was also, I think, 5 or 6 sets, something like that.
Yeah,
This one was 10 seconds holds.
yeah. So this one was pretty good. I mean, this is something that I think you kind of added in maybe recently into what you train, because you do see a lot of the Georgians, Russians training this. So let's see what you do here. This is one of those things that people say biceps, but in my opinion, it's a little bit more focused on your the strength of your elbow and stabilizing the weight. It's kind of that center control, also to kind of catch the hit. Did you recently add this in, or is this something that you've been always doing?
Ever so often, he tells me to do some like static type of bicep thing. He really likes to use, instead of like a dumbbell, he likes to use the long barbell,
Yeah,
because as you can see here, it kind of wobbles back and forth, and you have to engage a pronation or supination to balance it out.
yeah. So that
But I
100. Yeah, go ahead.
but I used to do like 3 years ago. I was doing holds with 100 pounds dumbbells. So it's, if I continued that, I mean, I would been a lot stronger with that. But yeah, I don't know if you're really working your bicep per se, or you're just adding maximum tension on all those parts right there.
Yeah, yeah. Because it really, when I do it too, I really don't feel the bicep at all. Well, I mean, a little bit. Obviously, it's engaged, but it feels like it's a little bit more of the elbow strength. There's another channel that's very interesting. He talks. It's a Russian guy. He's super technical, and he refers to this. I want to see, can I get your thoughts? Like, he refers this exercise. He says that this is the safest way to train side pressure.
Like
And
this, like what I'm doing right here.
yeah, this is what he calls side pressure training. What do you
Oh,
think?
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of different ways to train side pressure. You can do straight
yeah,
to the side, like Todd Hutchings. You can do kind of like a Giannis, where he just goes like this to the side.
yeah,
There's that the dumbbell where you can go like this.
yeah,
A lot of different ways. I mean, but then again, if he just did side pressure straight to the side like that, see how long you can do that for before you get injured, and it's not very long.
yeah, yeah. I always seem to get injured, honestly, when I'm doing side pressure and I'm trying to max it out for whatever reason. But this right here, I mean, for sure, I mean the pressure is coming from kind of a side pressure angle, and
Yeah,
yeah, very
because you're going like this and you're opening up like that.
yeah, yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to make you a lot stronger. And like you said, you added in, instead of a dumbbell, you add in a barbell where you gotta stabilize it. So I think that's definitely going to make you a lot stronger. So you
Yeah,
did that.
I worked up to 110 for this one, and I would
Yeah,
go heavier, but they only had 110.
yeah. How much do you think you can do on that one?
I mean, at this gym, this EOS Fitness, they have 150-pound dumbbells,
Yeah.
and I think I'm gonna work up my way to doing that.
Okay. All right. And then let's see here. So yeah, I mean, to me, this was the most impressive one because again, you're right now you're around 250 pounds, and your hand has become a lot thicker, stronger, and I think the focus has been it's definitely the hand stuff. I know Sandra's has you do a lot of hand stuff. I think this is pretty impressive. Do you think this is the hardest way to do pull-ups is with this rope?
Yes, yeah. So a lot of people, 99% of people can't even do this.
Yeah,
So I remember a couple of years ago when I was getting trained by Reza Dilmaganian. He told me to do something like this or like climb a rope or something like that, and I tried and I couldn't do it. So then I couldn't do it because I wasn't strong enough.
Huh.
So you know your hand is getting good when you can do something like this.
Yeah, and then that kind of goes, and I think you switching it right here to this supinated one. This is way tougher.
This
So this
yeah, this
is
is even harder.
yeah, this is way more impressive. And yeah, check that out, guys. That's 250 pounds. That's impressive. And then I want to say definitely like him Saunders having you do this, and like you said, Reza. And Reza, I mean, a lot of people don't understand and don't know. Reza is an elite coach. He trains a lot of athletes, and this is something that he has in his program. So that goes to tell you that a lot of these elite coaches is what I would kind of call them. They all take from me. I wouldn't say secrets. A lot of them have similar programs, and and then this is why I mean, if you can let people know, because I know you're a big believer in having coaches getting coached, and you're obviously at a high level. What are some things? Why is it important to have a coach?
Well, not to cut you off, but you do have a comment from San Tan Valley Arm Wrestling AZ. What up, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for jumping in.
So yeah, you do have a good amount of people watching. So yeah, as far as a coach, I mean, it really depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to do, right? If you're just
Yeah,
like you gotta, the first 6 months or a year, you gotta figure out what your goals are. Are you trying to be the number one in the state? You're trying to be number one in the world, or are you just doing it for fun? So if you're just doing it for fun, don't watch any of my videos and just do whatever you want and just have fun.
yeah,
But if you want to be number one, like I'm trying to be number one, that's when you have to have more structure. And like, let's say you're interested in going to fight in the UFC. You're not gonna watch freaking YouTube videos on how to land punches and kicks. You're gonna hire a professional coach. You're gonna go to a gym and you're gonna get trained like that. So it's no different with arm wrestling. This stuff is a lot more complicated. A lot of people think it's like just Neanderthal stuff at the end of the day, but
yeah,
it's way more complex than that. And you want to see, as far as exercises, there's a lot of commonalities of a lot of what people do. So like Ivan Mashashenko, what Reza was telling me, what Sandras is doing, what Coach Ray and those guys, there are a few exercises that everybody does.
yeah.
And so you want to look at those and you want to make sure you do those. Things like rope pull ups, um, back pressure off the floor, things like that.
And something very important that you just said there that kind of clicked. I never thought about it like this, but you said it, perfectly. Where you said with UFC, like those guys, I mean, they're paying a lot of money to go into those elite training camps, and then they train for months and months and months, just for one match. And if you look at it like that, and it's no different, that makes a lot of sense to me on why
Yeah,
you should.
why is arm wrestling different than that?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
like
really think
any
it
other
is.
sport, like any other combat sport, where the best guys don't have coaches.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. And I watched videos of Islam Makachev. When he's preparing for a UFC match, man, that's super serious. He was training like 3 times in a day. It was just crazy, and like you said, this shouldn't be any different. And but yeah, I just wanted to kind of show everybody the training that you did. What was this? This was yesterday, right?
Yeah, and I do want to say one thing too,
Yeah,
um, in support of getting a coach, right?
yeah,
Islam and those guys from Dagestan and stuff like that, they don't have a job. All they do is train, 3 to 5 times a day, every single day. They take ice baths and all these things. Where you and I, we have to have a job. We go into the job full time. We have family and kids and stuff like that. So we only have a finite amount of time. So why not hire a coach and make that time efficient instead of going, back and forth with what works and what doesn't work, and have someone else figure that out for you.
yeah. That's for sure. And shout out to these guys right here. So Santan Valley Arm Wrestling, and then also Basado Sport. He said, "What's up from Austin, Texas? Arm wrestlers. Devin was here 2 weeks ago." Yeah, let's talk about that for a second because I honestly, I'll admit it, I'm not a huge Devin Lorette fan,
No.
and then, but after seeing him in Texas, I have gained a new level of respect for Devin. I just didn't think, you heard of stories of him, pulling for hours and hours and days. I honestly thought people were making that stuff up of him, especially him staying there, at a session all day pulling and then pulling the next day. But like really, so it looks like all those stories of Devin doing that are real. I mean, those guys when he went, he was there for 5 days pulling every single day, and he was going to different clubs. And obviously, if you've been to Texas, me and you have, Texas is very special. You know, we went to East versus West. What was it, 18 or 17, when it was a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. So we went there to compete, and those guys. Shout out to Texas. Those athletes are very special. They're a high level athlete, and Devin came there and trained with them, and nobody could really do anything with him. And that's even after 4 or 5 days of him getting beat up. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, I look at Devin like it's just one in 100 million, or is that training style? Should we be training 3, 4, 5 times a week, pulling on the table? What I mean?
The reason that he can do that and we can't do that is because he's so much stronger, right?
Yeah,
That's like it's like okay, I can go to the gym for 3 hours or 4 or 5 hours, whatever, and I can lift at 40% of my intensity, and I can do that. But if I'm a lot weaker and I do the exact same weights, I'm doing max effort lifts, and I can't do that for 4 or 5 hours. He's so much better than everybody, and so he can do. The other people are not applying a lot of force to him, right? And as far as his uniqueness, I think he is unique, but it's arm wrestling is a small pool, small genetic pool. The genetic freaks are in higher paying sports like NFL and
yeah,
whatever. Um, so when other people get more interested, we'll see the genetic pool rise. I mean, it's like it's not he's not Australian, but like that Ricard guy.
yeah, yeah. Ricard
Yeah, like,
Berman.
yeah, he's a freak. There's
Yeah.
guys like that everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, new guys that come in, and right off the bat, like they're crazy strong, and I remember when what's his name, Ron, what's his last name in Arizona, Ron,
Well, Ron King.
not Ron King, the new guy, Ron, who's crazy strong, Ron.
Uh,
Can't believe I forgot his name. I'm a big fan of his. He's very strong, but we'll find his last name. But Ron, he's very impressive. Like in one, what is it?
Flanick.
Yeah, Ron Flanick. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ron Flanick, and a lot of arm wrestlers in Arizona. And the reason why that guy is special is right from the beginning. I remember there was a tournament, just this guy that nobody even knows, that doesn't even train, and he's up there, and he was against Jesse. I forgot Jesse's last name too. Jesse Hollick, who's also at that time very, very strong. He was considered, top five, maybe top 10 at the 220, extremely strong. And then Ron, this guy that came out of nowhere, was giving him a hard time. He actually almost won. And then a year later, he's still sticking around. His back pressure is over 100 pounds, pronation's over 100 pounds. So you got those freaks that come in, and they're incredible. And like Basato Sports said here, so Devin pulled for 5 days in our club, and one day with a different Austin club. Devin pulled for 3, 4 hours nonstop, and I think you what you just said there is right. I mean, let's take Joseph Moranto for example. He comes to local dojo and he stays there for 2 3 hours. Nobody's budging him, and I think that's what it is. It's he for him to get tired, he needs someone that's close to his level. That's probably what it is.
Oh yeah, guys like Joseph, they'll go work out with guys who are newer for 2 hours straight, and then he'll go to the gym right after.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's look at here. I want to just show everybody, where we were. So we went to King of Baja. That was in Mexicali. That was run by Greg Brown, Cristobal Ruiz, and Ricardo Vidal. Shout out to those guys. Those promoters did an incredible job. My opinion, hands down, my favorite tournament that I have ever been to. The overall, it was crazy. The tournament started at 3 o'clock, and it was done at 12 o'clock. It was so crazy. So let me kind of show you guys Legendary Balkan here, some of his highlights from the tournament. What did you think? I'm going to share the screen right now. What did you think of the level of the arm wrestlers there in Mexicali?
So Mexico, I guess the guys take arm wrestling really seriously. So a lot of the guys came in with matching shirts and matching club shirts. They look at these guys like Fabian and Hugo and Sergio Aguilar like they're freaking gods, and so there's a lot of respect. It's almost kind of like the Europeans, how they respect strength. That's how the Mexicans look at the sport, and that's one thing I really like.
That's a good way of putting it. I didn't think about it like that until you just said it. Yeah, I mean, man, when Fabian came, like everybody's like, they're coming up to me. They're like, "Well, that's Fabian." I'm like, "Who's Fabian?" They're
Hmm.
like, "That's the number one left and right rank overall in all of Mexico." I'm like, "Whoa!" So I'm like, "This is the guy. This is the man." They said yes, and then also you got like you said, Hector Mendoza came, and what was the name of the guy that you just mentioned a little bit ago?
There's a guy named Hugo and then Sergio
Hugo. Hugo, super impressive. So you faced off against, I think, all of those guys. So you did. Yeah, there he is, right there. That's Hugo, right there. This
Hugo.
guy.
So I
Yeah,
think Sid has a match versus this guy right now.
yeah.
In I don't know how many months.
Yeah, so we got a guy super heavyweight here, Sid Gotti, super impressive, super heavyweight, extremely high level. I think he's top three, for sure top five, but top three, I think, in the
In
state,
our state, yeah,
in our state. Yep, he's got a match against this guy right here, Hugo. I think his last name is Ramirez, right?
probably.
Yeah, I think he's top three in all of Mexico. He's super impressive. Yeah, and check out this stage, guys. So this is one of the reasons why I like King of Baja. Look at all those guys, man. They, this was Mexicali, and they had their best guys like in all of the clubs come in for this tournament. Greg Brown said like this is there was classes in there with over 20 guys in one class. You know, super
Yeah,
impressive and
so you look at top left right there, three dudes all wearing the same shirt. It's
yeah,
like that's how serious it is over there. There were three guys missing from this tournament that are at the top level, and that's Jose Maya and Daniel and Carlos Reyes.
yeah,
So I think Daniel and Carlos Reyes were probably uh, gonna be the winners of any one of these weight classes,
yeah, for
but
sure.
they got injured. Well, I don't know if both of them got injured, just one of them.
I mean, I don't know who would have beat Ole Mose that day on the right.
Oh, probably
That
nobody.
guy was running through every single person. I mean, this is I don't know if you guys ever heard of Ole Mose from California. Check out this stage right here for a quick second. Look at this, guys. How impressive was this? I mean, shout out to Greg Brown. I've never seen a tournament like this. This was there's Greg right there. Just an incredible tournament. And yeah, Ole Mose was just on fire that day. He was super strong. He actually even beat Tim Talmadge. And if you guys know, Tim is crazy impressive. So these are some of your matches. Let me forward this because you also had a match with. Okay, there it's next with Fabian. Let's see here. Well, what? Okay, so this is you and Fabian. What did you? This is left. What did you feel with the number one Mexico guy?
Um, I was surprised by a lot of things. I was surprised by his hand. He didn't feel like a strong hand compared to how what I thought it was going to be. Um, he wasn't messing with the setup. He wasn't like trying to get a huge advantage or anything like that. He just kind of like put his grip where it wanted, and then he just waited till the go. He does from his matches. He loses his hand a lot, and he relies a lot on the strap. So knowing that, he's beatable outside the straps for sure.
Uh, there's Freddie the Gun Sanchez, man. That guy has been super.
Freddie's the biggest cheater that I've
He is
ever
the biggest cheater.
biggest cheater.
Yeah, he is the biggest cheater. But that's okay. It's a combat sport. That's what it's
Like
all
that's
about.
that's actually a compliment.
Yeah, it is a huge compliment, and
If
I
you
think
can get away with it, it's
yeah.
not cheating.
And you know what it is? You just said it. I did notice like a lot of the Mexico guys they don't cheat a lot in the setup, and I think what it is a lot of them do go to like WAF and a lot of those big tournaments where it's very strict refing. So when they come to a tournament like this where it's a little bit more loose rules, they're just not used to trying to cheat in the setup, or things like that. So I think that just might be it. Uh, this guy is super super impressive,
So this
right?
is Carlos Zamorano. He used to be the 100 kilo national champion, and so every time we arm wrestle, he gets better and better. So
Yeah,
I
he
think
yeah
he's beaten me twice, and I've beaten him once. Not in this event, but overall.
yeah. He's also someone that really doesn't try to cheat in the strap. He just
Yeah, like super super friendly. He just knows that he's strong as shit.
yeah. What did you feel with Fabian again, number one in Mexico on the right hand?
I'll say I was only impressed by a few people, and Fabian wasn't one of them. I
Okay.
was impressed the most by Hector Mendoza.
Yeah.
That guy was a freaking beast. Hugo and I think his name is like Terremoto or something like that. I was impressed by those guys, and I think if you put uh, Hugo Terremoto and Fabian in like a round robin, any one of those guys could have won. So I think if Fabian is indeed overall won, it's not by a wide margin.
Okay. What do you think about this guy right here, your mortal enemy, the Serbian Hammer? I'm super impressed with this guy.
Every time he arm wrestles in that hat, he's strong. So I have to just take the hat away next time. So
That
so he's been arm wrestling for a while
yeah,
now. I think recently he started taking it a lot more seriously than before.
yeah, could be
Um,
that.
he's beaten a lot of guys that are on the top level, like Saray Brown, who's now ranked top 20, who has a match versus Derek Smith
Yeah.
in Colorado coming up. And so if Rocco is not top 20 in North America right now, I think he's very close to it.
He's got to be top 20, man. I think this guy needs to have a high level match. Like
He really
his
needs to be tested
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
needs to be tested. Like I haven't seen him tested at all within the last couple of years. Like he needs a high level top 20, top 15 opponent. I think that guy would shock a lot of people. And I think it's like within the last year, it's probably like what you just said. He's taking it a lot more serious. But that guy has just been incredible. Shout out to Rocco. I'm a big fan of his. He's just incredible. Very strong. His hand is it feels like freaking iron. And he's also somebody that really doesn't cheat in the setup too. He just you just say go, then he goes. So he doesn't even. do a lot of stuff, which just shows how strong he is. So that's King of Baja. Let me see here. Let me put a pause on
Yeah, so I
that.
competed in the super heavyweight, and I
Yeah,
also competed in the 242 class. That's why I'm in a match with a lot of different sized people.
yeah. Do you think if you, because I think so, I want to see what you think. I think, in my opinion, I think it's a mistake to compete in more than one weight class because you just get crazy tired. Do you think you would have done better if you just competed in your natural 220 or what were you 240 at that time, right?
Yeah, it's 240.
Yeah,
Uh,
240.
I don't know. I guess it kind of depends what your goal is. If your goal is just to win your class and get money, whatever it is, then do it. I like what motivates me is being challenged. So I wanted to face the top champions from both of those weight classes, which were the top guys,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't get that opportunity if I didn't do multiple weight classes. And could I have done if I did just one of those classes? Could I have done better? Yeah, but um, yeah, who cares?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. Everybody here in arm wrestling, everybody has a different goal that they're aiming for. That's something that's very important to remember. For you, you wanted to go down there and challenge yourself, and a lot of others, they just like the training part. They like the camaraderie, which is all that stuff is good. I think
Yeah,
everything.
I actually don't like some of that stuff. I don't like the team aspect of it. I never liked team sports. I like the fact that it's just me trying to figure out how to become, really good at something, and I don't have to rely on, I'm not on the Armenian team. I'm not in the, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, definitely good point. And I mean, I think also too, it's like a puzzle when you're grouping up with somebody. You're trying to figure out what's the best way to beat them. And for me, I really didn't understand that. It's taken me 3 years to really understand. In the setup, figuring out how to you know find a weakness for your opponent. I really had to. I mean, I'm gonna show this off because I'm super proud of it right here. We got the AZ Arizona State Championship right here, second place, 240s amateur. I'm super happy with that. I got left and right on the 240s. Not a big class, but I'm super happy. And the part that I'm happy about is stuff that you used to tell me, kind of years about. It's when you're in the setup, when you're up there, because my move on the left was always just hook. But when I got there, the opponents their hook was way stronger. I mean, I don't know what happened. My hook is pretty strong. Side pressure is strong, and then when I gripped up with the guy that benches 600 pounds or 500 pounds, whatever he does, that old guy, I'm like, oh no, like his side pressure center felt crazy strong, and then, I said, let me test his fingers. I was testing his hand and the fingers, and I'm like, okay, his fingers are going back like nothing. So I
Hmm.
ended up just switching it to a top roll, all back pressure going through the fingers. And again, I never do that, but as I learn more, that's that part of the puzzle. Well, that's good. So for you, I'm gonna show you a match right now. I was super impressed with it, but before I do that, what are your plans for the rest of the year? What's next for you? Which tournaments, opponents? What are you looking to accomplish? What are you looking to do?
Um, so I just like training right now, and not having to worry about another tournament. I really hate competing too often because then you have to take 2 weeks off before, and then you're messed up for 2 3 weeks after, so you lose a month. I would rather peak for something that's really good. Maybe I'll do Colorado State this year again, and then do Texas at the end of the year. I don't know, but if I don't feel up for it, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah,
And as far as beating people, there's only, I mean, there's like, I don't know, 5 6 guys in Arizona that can beat me. There's like Rocco Tim, a prime Eric Wolf, um, maybe
Wayne
Wayne for sure if he's training. Probably if he's not training too.
for
and
sure.
and yeah, maybe like Joseph and who's that guy that beat Joseph? What was his name?
The guy that beat Joseph. Oh yeah, I mean yeah
Yeah, that guy could probably beat him too. I
yeah
don't know.
I
Good
forgot his
chance.
name. Yeah, he was incredible. You're talking about the overalls. Yeah,
Who's the guy that beat Joseph in that super match event before he went to East versus West?
yeah, man, I forgot his freaking name.
Aaron Blevins.
Aaron Blevins. Yeah, that guy is super impressive. Crazy impressive. A lot of people don't know him.
Yeah,
There's
he started arm wrestling when I was in high school.
wow. Yeah, a lot of those guys, they just over the years they just get so strong that they don't need to train as much. It just takes a little bit of time and they're back. Okay, yeah, Boogie B said Blevins. Yeah, Blevins was on another level. I mean, man, I still remember that day. I was watching it right there in the front. I just wanted to see because I thought Joseph was gonna win for sure, and then I'm looking at Joseph, and then I'm looking at Blevins. I'm like, oh, Joseph is in trouble, and I'm looking at Blevins, and he's not budging, he's not moving in the setup. He's super focused, and then right off the go, Joseph hits. Blevins doesn't even move. They go into a strap. Blevins is not even moving in the strap. Joseph is trying to climb, trying to do everything. Blevins is not even moving.
Yeah.
At that moment, I knew there was this guy was a different level, and he just destroyed Joseph. Were you expecting that, or was that just it came out of nowhere?
Well, we all knew Blevins was really good, but we didn't know how good. And knowing now that Joseph is the number one 165 in the country, that makes it even more impressive. So I wonder where Blevins is.
Yeah, and I think what happened, I think Greg Brown said it in a video months ago where Blevins just wasn't training. Now he actually is training. So it could be that he's taking it serious now and he's consistently training and his level is super high. So Blevins also somebody that's super that's he's got to be on there. I know on the left he's probably number one or number two. What's his name? The big guy, the Oak, the Oak.
Steve Homestead.
Steve Olmstead. That guy is super impressive. I do think he's probably number one left hand. He did well in King of Baja. That was it was incredible. So I think those are probably the top five. And even Miguel Ortega, man, Miguel Ortega, he was in a car accident. He's back to training. He's had a couple of matches. Miguel is also someone that's super high level.
Yeah,
Top
he's
eight.
been arm wrestling, 11, 12 years or something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
these guys, you can only train for so many years, going balls to the wall until
yeah,
you get kind of demotivated. So if these guys get motivated again to train, they're gonna get back to that high level.
yeah. And I think that point right there, where I now understand it better. Like how long it takes to get to that high level. The reason why I bring that up is we were in Texas 2 months ago, and I didn't get it. Like those pros that were there. So you had this guy named Brian Sitten. He won number one on 240. I think both left and right. He looks like a normal guy. And then I was chatting with him on Instagram because I was trying to figure out why is he so strong. I mean, the guy is moving like 150-pound side pressure, like it's nothing. He's doing volume with 150 pounds side pressure. He's holding up a 180-pound dumbbell on his biceps like it's nothing. I'm like, Brian, how long have you been arm wrestling? He's what did he say? I think he said 11 or 12 years. I mean, that's crazy. And then you have that other guy in Texas that's incredible. I think he's number one, 220, 240. Man,
Are we talking about the Corpus Christi guy?
Yeah, I'm talking about the tall guy that was in there like for 15 years.
Uh, I
He
know who you're
was
talking
yeah, he
about.
was there. He's got a match with Michael Bedwell. What's his name? I can't think of it. I mean, Michael Bedwell, of course, is crazy impressive too. Just seeing that guy compete.
Tucker Keating.
Tucker Keaton, that guy's been arm wrestling for 15 years too. So like you're talking about Wayne Arsenal arm wrestling for 10 years. You got Miguel Ortega, 12, 13 years. You know, you got the legend Eric Wolf at 30 years. That's the reality. That's how long it takes to, over 10 years to kind of get to that, level where, it's going to be in good shape. So that's what you got going on for this year. Now, I've been waiting to I want to show you this match right here. You'll know the guy that I'm talking about. A lot of you guys don't watch Russian arm wrestling or Bulgarian arm wrestling. I watch all of that stuff. Let me show you here this match that just went down. It was crazy. All right. All right. So I'm gonna put. Is this on mute? Okay, I'm gonna put mute, and then I'll forward it a little bit. All right. So you'll know the guy immediately. So there's this new arm wrestling league in. It's called SAL. Sal. There he is right there. So this guy right here is crazy impressive. His name is Oleg. I think his name is Cherkaskov. This guy is a legend, and he just had a match with this guy right here. I couldn't find a lot of information on him, but he's a super heavyweight, extremely strong. But what they like to do in these events, they like to put the smaller guys versus the big guys. So let me forward this match. This is watch this. You haven't watched this, right?
No, I have not.
All right.
I don't watch a lot of arm wrestling.
Uh, yeah, I like to watch stuff like this. Check this out. Yeah, this guy's channel is Berserker 13. Make sure you guys check this out. So watch this. I mean, this super heavyweight. He's not really a well known. Boom, like nothing. Watch this. This first match, first round, and then you got. Okay, let me just show you this right here because you. And then you got in the back. You got Elder Bobanko. Bobanko, he was there. Kind of, he was in Oleg's corner. Let me forward it a little bit here. And everybody knows Oleg is known for his endurance and his side pressure. Okay, so that was first round, second round. Okay, so he gets a stop. And then watch also the super heavyweight, what adjustments he makes. So watch for that and look at the spots he'll get into and how he gets out of them. Like I was shocked. I haven't seen a hook match like this in a long time. You'll see what I mean. I mean, you see Oleg is in a pretty good spot right here. The other guy is wide open, and he still has the strength to continue, and he's a super heavyweight. Yeah, the crowd was going crazy. Look at that. Look where the super heavyweight is stopping him. He's wide open.
That's that Surrey Brown. That's what
Yeah,
he
so
does.
Bree Brown does this. This was a long match.
Yeah, fast forward it. I don't
Oh,
have time to watch this whole thing.
yeah, we're not gonna watch the whole thing. Wow, look at this. Well, you're not a big Hook guy. You don't appreciate the Hook that much. Look at this. Look at that comeback. And Oleg is still holding.
So,
Pins him up.
super heavyweight wins.
No, he does not. So watch this comeback.
I'll just fast forward it to the last match.
So let me do the speed, and I'll adjust the speed. All right, so
So, I mean, okay, why are we watching this match?
because it's super impressive. I mean, look at it, it's a super.
Okay.
But Oleg, he was down 3-0, and then he came back. And you see, okay, so you see how he lost. And again, Bobenko was telling him. I saw the translation. He's like, it's okay. Don't give up, don't give up. You know, he's like, you're an endurance guy. You know, don't worry about it. You got this. And Oleg's like, okay. And he came back. And for whatever reason, at this league, maybe because it's a super heavyweight versus a lower weight, it ended up being 3-3. I don't know why. They can't really explain it. But Ole came back from this and he won the next three. But this guy was still holding on. I mean, this just
I don't like that when there's no winner.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why it was like that. But Oleg was just completely destroyed. Look at his lost his hand, wrist is gone. People were going crazy. I mean, to me, this is an East versus West type of a match.
Did you want to talk about anything else?
I mean, I'd say, well, okay, so he came back, so it came 3-3. Let me stop sharing right here. All right, that's it. No, I appreciate you joining Legendary Balkan, and appreciate everybody joining. Have a good one, everybody.
All right.